Hey there, guys. I wanted to drop in real quick to talk to you about a brand new offer that I've put together just for you. It truly is going to revolutionize the way that you do business. I am offering a 90-minute strategy session that's also going to give you a visual roadmap that will guide you over the next 6 months to be able to accomplish any author goal you want to make happen. So here's the thing, we all need some one-on-one guidance sometimes. And the whole idea behind this is to give you the one-on-one personalized experience that you're really craving and get you on the road to your greatest success, right? That's all we really want for you. So if you're curious about how this is going to work, head over to authorrevolution.org/visual map and learn more about it today. Welcome to the Author Revolution podcast, where change is not just embraced, it's celebrated. I'm Carissa Andrews, international best-selling author, indie author coach, and your navigator through the ever-evolving landscape of authorship. Are you ready to harness the power of your mind and the latest innovations in technology for your writing journey? If you're passionate about manifesting your dreams and pioneering new writing frontiers, then you're in the perfect place. Here, we merge the mystical woo of writing with the exciting advancements of the modern world. We dive into the realms of mindset, manifestation, and the transformative magic that occurs when you believe in the impossible. We also venture into the world of futuristic technologies and strategies, preparing you for the next chapter in your author career. Every week, we explore new ways to revolutionize your writing and publishing experience. From AI to breakthrough thinking, this podcast is your gateway to a world where creativity meets innovation. Whether you're penning your first novel or expanding your literary empire, whether you're a devotee of the pen or a digital storyteller, this podcast is where your author revolution gains momentum. So join me in this journey to continue growth and transformation. It's time to redefine what it means to be an author in today's dynamic world. This is the Author Revolution podcast, and your author revolution starts now. Well, hi there, and welcome back to the Author Revolution podcast. Guys, today I'm really excited to talk about something that's been playing on in the back of my mind and has swooped in, shaken the ground of all that I thought I knew when it came to teaching manifestation. And I've really just been profoundly impacted. So here's a little backstory. And you know this, I've been meditating for a while, but the idea of this talk, this quantum manifestation for authors talk, really came to me in a meditation when I was asking more significant questions, because sometimes I'm just like, hey, universe, what do I need today? What should I focus on? Blah, blah, blah. And it's not super focused. But in my meditation, I was asking the questions about quantum entanglement. And I was wondering, how would that apply in an author relationship kind of way? And I was thinking about the quantum field, and I was thinking about the observer effect, and they were all kind of separate. I wasn't trying to niche it down or make it be a specific thing. But all of a sudden I started getting very descriptive visual overlays of how that lays over top of manifestation. And as I did, I was like, oh my God, this is how I can describe why it works. This is amazing. So for me, I'm a huge lover, obviously, of both science and technology, and then woo and spirituality. And so merging these two things has never been an issue for me. It's never been something where I'm like, oh, that they can't co-create together. That just doesn't make sense. No, that's not me. And for me, it just never occurred to marry them up quite in the way that I've been kind of guided to do. And so here we are. We're going to talk about quantum manifestation, and we're going to talk about quantum physics and how it overlays my teachings on manifestation, which is really interesting. But I'm just going to touch on it because we've got a class that's coming up. So if you're interested in diving into a much more in-depth conversation about quantum manifestation and you want to see how this actually plays out, definitely sign up for the Quantum Manifestation Masterclass that's going to be happening on June 14th at 1 o'clock Central Standard Time. So if you want to get signed up, that would be wonderful. I would love to have you in the class. So let's talk about and explore how these like seemingly different things actually can transform your reality. It's super interesting. So, what is quantum manifestation? Well, it's a concept that overlays manifestation with the scientific explanation of why it works. And if you're someone who is like kind of a skeptic, or you aren't quite sure what's going on, or maybe you just like, you're like me, you like the blend of science with your spirituality, you're going to like all of this and it's going to get really interesting. Okay. So, starting with the basics, let's talk about quantum physics. My brother is a physicist, and so he's been, studying at the U of M for a long time. He's more classically trained, but yet he's worked with the Atom Smasher in Minneapolis. So he's done quantum physics as well. And it's always been a fascinating line for me because it feels more uh, artistic when it comes to science, because quantum physics itself, it's different from classical Newtonian physics. Newtonian physics, think about it like we're trying to understand the predictable world around us, and it's typically on a much larger scale. So it's, why gravity works, why the planets align and circle around the sun. Like that's the physics that most people understand. Where quantum physics really is kind of a groundbreaking situation. Like the pioneers were people like, and you're going to know these names, Albert Einstein, Max Planck, let's see, Werner Heisenberg, Erwin Schrödinger. I mean, like, there's some really amazing thought leaders in the process of quantum physics. So, what happened was they started looking into quantum particles. So, literally, the tiniest, most incredibly small aspects of our world. Like, how do those quantum particles work? Things, and it's typically like energy, like photons, electrons, that sort of thing. And what they found when they were studying these quantum particles was that it didn't behave according to Newtonian physics. And it obviously led to a lot of really interesting observations, interesting theories about how everything works. And as we look at those quantum particles and we are taught, like what you've heard me talk about frequency and you've heard me talk about vibration, this is where we're getting at, right? So the vibration and the frequencies are all coming down to quantum physics. So quantum physics talks about this observer effect. And basically, it's a principle that suggests that the observation of a phenomenon inevitably changes how it operates. So, in quantum physics style, there's like this cloud of potential. So like, let's use an electron, for instance. An electron can be in this potential, and they call it a wave, a potential wave effect. And when there is no observation of this particle, it exists in pure potential. It's in a wave. It exists at all places, at all times. It's everywhere. But when the observer turns to look at it, it collapses the wave to a particle. It collapses it into a single thing that the viewer, the observer, can actually see. So, in the realm of personal development, really what this means is that you can direct your focus, and that direct focus can affect your reality, right? So, if you're focusing on positive outcomes, you're more likely to bring those outcomes into existence purely by focusing on them. I had an interesting insight when it came to that concept of letting go. Remember, that's my word of the year, let go. And when we are looking at the thing that we want, right? And we're trying to create our successful careers, or we're trying to, earn more money on our books or whatever. If we can hold our sole focus only on that positive, successful outcome, that means you have let go literally of any other option that surrounds it. You're no longer allowing it to be an option in your reality. So, in essence, what you're doing is making your decision, your desire, this future version, non negotiable. And by doing that, you've collapsed the wave of existence, right, down to a particle. And so, what happens is now you're going to be getting those inspired nudges. You're going to be thinking about how can you bring it to you? What is going to happen? So, when we look at this wave particle thing, it exists everywhere. And so scientists call this like quantum field theory. Like there is a field of energy that exists even in the vacuum of space, which isn't technically a vacuum. So imagine a field where all possibilities exist simultaneously, waiting to be actualized. And by aligning our thoughts and our emotions with the frequencies that we desire, we can actually collapse the possibilities into the reality that we want to experience. It's like turning to a radio frequency, but what you're tuning to is the reality that you want to manifest. And then another thing that gets really interesting is there's this concept called quantum entanglement. Now, this is a phenomenon that occurs when like pairs or groups of particles interact in such a way that the quantum state of each particle can't be described independently of others. So the concept can be metaphorically applied to human relationships and networks, right? How we connect with others can influence and enhance our own experiences and opportunities, but it also does the same for our network. So the fact that you know someone who knows someone who knows someone, it's like it's always interacting with each other, right? And so these concepts are super interesting when we put them over the top of manifestation. But first, I want to talk briefly about neuroscience. I'll have a podcast episode coming up where we're going to talk about neuroscience and how it plays into this. But real briefly, I wanted to just say that like our brains, they're so awesome. They're so awesome. They process thousands of bits of information per second. But our conscious minds are really only aware of a fraction of it. You know, we've talked about how in the background we're thinking thoughts, and 90% of those thoughts are the same thoughts that we thought like yesterday and the day before and the day before. And it's because it runs like on an auto programming in essence to hold and maintain your particle, like your existence. You've collapsed the wave into a particle. And so it's literally there to like create your reality and keep and maintain it. So by understanding how to reprogram our subconscious, which is where Tammy comes in, our hypnoses and meditations come in, essentially the background running process of our minds, that, running program, we can align those deeper beliefs with our conscious goals. And it enhances our ability to manifest. So let's get practical. Let's talk about how we can apply some of these concepts. And like I said, I'm going to go over this in more detail in the class, but I want to give you just a little bit of an idea of how this works. So how do we apply these concepts? First of all, let's start with the observer effect, right? You can use your focus and your intent to manifest. Now, we talk about this anyway, like your superpower is to decide. But if you're looking at it from the observer effect aspect of it, for example, you're trying to focus on visualizing the completion of your book, and it's been difficult for you. So you visualize the cover, the texture of the pages, the feeling of the final project in your hands. You're thinking about how it's going to impact your readers. You are thinking about how much money is going to come in, and it's going to be so amazing because it's going to change your life. Using this focused intention can help bring that goal into reality. And not only can you do it there, like you can do it in so many different ways, right? And we actually technically are doing this anyway. We just don't realize we're doing it. But if you wanted the coffee again, or like the spaghetti, your focus, your observation of that thing is bringing it into being. And it goes for all the things that we're constantly trying to do. Like, I'm not going to bring spaghetti into my picture when my only focus right now is getting a cup of coffee, right? So spaghetti is a potential. Like, I could hypothetically make spaghetti right now, but that's not where my focus is. My focus is on getting a cup of coffee. And so that potentiality dies, so to speak. It does not come into being, but your focus of going to the coffee maker and getting your coffee is, right? So this is where it overlays with that quantum field. When we are deciding, we are tapped into that infinite potentiality, that quantum field of potential, and then the observer effect collapses it down into that reality. But with quantum entanglement, I want you to think about like how you connect with other writers and other creators and other thinkers, because these connections can create new opportunities and enhance your creative output. And it's all through shared ideas and energies. So the fact that I'm here and I'm sharing this information with you, you could turn around and talk to somebody else about this conversation, about the concepts, and start playing around with it. And our impact of each other is going to constantly evolve the entire like writing community. It's been so interesting to see how big and how broad the concept of manifestation really is. Like, every time I think I understand it, I learn another layer, or I learn another piece of the puzzle that just expands the awareness even further. And in some ways, it's not even like they are new awarenesses. It's like I have been selecting separately different aspects that are all part of the same thing. And I just didn't realize at the time that it was all connected. You know what I mean? It's so wild. So at any rate, I hope this was interesting to you. I know it was kind of a quick overview because there's so much to talk about when it comes to quantum physics and so much to talk about when it overlays manifestation. Literally, I got information on how it overlays the 3 steps and how each one is a part of this process. I mean, there's so much cool stuff that we're going to be discussing over the course of the year, over the course of different episodes. I mean, I have a ton of really interesting interviews that are happening this year. You might have noticed I've been interviewing some really different and unique individuals. And I think this is all a part of it, right? It's all like all of these things is a part of the desire I put out, where it's like, I want to do things different. I want to see things that are different. I want to talk about things in a way that no one's talking about. I want to, get my hands dirty and think of like that exploration aspect. Like, how can I be the explorer or the archaeologist of like our discoveries as authors, as thinkers, as individuals who are creators? I mean, so much cool stuff. So much cool stuff. All right. So just to wrap up, we've just literally scratched the surface on how quantum physics and neuroscience can actually influence your ability to manifest. So if you are an author who needs a little more sciencey stuff, hang tight. We're going to talk more about this. And I also encourage you to explore the ideas further, like experiment with them. See how it might change your perspective on manifestation or even your own reality. Remember, science is not just about understanding the world, but it's also about imagining the world as it could be. And I think we're so powerful that as we turn our attention toward what could be, we're going to see some awesome stuff. We're going to see some incredibly awesome stuff. All right, guys. Thank you for tuning into this episode. I will make sure everything is in the show notes. So head over to authorrevolution.org/236 to get all the details there. And if you've got questions or comments about any of this stuff, make sure you reach out. I'm always so curious to find out like which episodes or which conversations hit different and what it makes you think about or gets you going. Like, tell me about it. I love it. And of course, share this podcast episode too. If you liked what we were talking about or you think you know someone who would like it, share it with them so that they know it exists. Okay? Let's tap into quantum entanglement a bit and get out there. So I will talk to you soon. Have a wonderful, magical, sciencey filled day today and go forth and start your author revolution. Okay, indie author, Carissa Andrews with Author Revolution here. We need to have a chat. I know you want to build a sustainable long-term author career, but you can't do it just by wishing for it. It would be nice, yes, but alas, you gotta do the work. By that I mean you need to reframe the way you look at your author business so that you can write and publish more frequently. With Rapid Release Roadmap, my signature online course, I'll help you learn not only how to make writing and publishing 4 books a year seem easy, but I'll help you master your prolific author mindset so that you can clear away all the negative self-talk that's holding you back. Trust me, I have been there. To learn more about Rapid Release Roadmap, head over to rapidreleaseroadmap.com. Over there, I'll give you all the insights on what you'll find inside the course. Plus, I walk you through all of the bonuses you're going to get based on the payment option you choose. And yes, there are some good ones in there, even if I say so myself. Once again, head over to rapidreleaseroadmap.com to learn more and sign up today.